Hi, I'm Mr. Hoover, and in this video I would like to talk about problem 3a and b. Well, state the quadrant in which the terminal point of the arc lies and find the coordinates of the terminal point xy on the unit circle. Make a quick hand sketch for every exercise. Well, the first one is extremely simple. You have your unit circle. You have pi halves. That corresponds to 90 degrees, so it's 90 degrees. Pi halves, that's here. Pi halves. And we need to state the coordinates of this point. So the coordinates of this point couldn't be simpler. It's just 0 and 1. So exercise 1a is 0 and 1. Now, the next one, 7 pi over 6. 7 pi over 6. So pi over 6 is 30 degrees. Pi over 6 corresponds to 30 degrees. So 7 pi over 6 corresponds to 210 degrees. So let's draw the unit circle. 210 degrees, that's 180 plus 30. Here we go, this is your point. 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. Now look, the coordinates of this point are here. It's in fact, the x-coordinate is cosine of 7 pi over 6, and the other coordinate, the y-coordinate, is sine. So this is, the point is cosine 7 pi over 6 and sine of 7 pi over 6. So this will be your point here. Well, 7 pi over 6, look, this is in fact a 30-degree angle. Your sine, your y value will be negative. Your cosine value will be negative as well. So let's check. It's sine of 30 degrees, or, well, look, this is 7 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6. Now this wiggly bit here is pi over 6. So let's have a look at pi over 6. Cosine of pi over 6 is in fact the square root of 3 over 2. So it's square root of 3 over 2, but negative because it's in the third quadrant. And sine, here negative. And sine of 7 pi over 6, well, you can already see it with the drawing as a visual help, will be minus 1/2. But let's check. Sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. But in this case, minus 1/2. So the coordinates of this point are in fact minus pi, minus square root of 3 over 2 and minus 1/2. These are the coordinates of this point. Now, look, we could have done this up here too, because look, this is cosine of 90 degree, pi halves, sorry, and sine of pi halves. Clearly, sine of pi halves is 1 and cosine of pi halves is 0. Why is that? Look, this would be your sine, this would be your cosine. As you go up here, your sine will go up to 1 and your cosine will go to 0. So you could have done it like this here too, but it was easier to just read it off the drawing, okay? So I hope it wasn't too difficult. See you in the next one.